Hey everyone, welcome back. So today I am next to my aloe vera plant, which I have planted in the ground. Now, this is interesting because I was actually going through my phone and I found some old footage that I never actually used for a YouTube video, and I thought maybe I would use that now, but I wanted to add a little context. So this is footage that I found of my aloe vera plant last year when I still had it in the container. It had pups all around it, and I was basically talking about it and explaining what you do with aloe vera and how you grow it. And one thing that I did was I took the main plant, the mother plant, and I planted it here in the ground. And as I'll talk about in the video, it did have a lot of transplant shock. Aloe vera doesn't like going from shade to full sun. You have to weather it very, very slowly, very carefully, giving it a little more sun every day. So I lost a lot of the bottom leaves here, but it has been in the ground and it is actually doing really well now. And I'm sure that throughout the next few years, it will become bigger and bigger and have pups grow from this area as well. This is just a little small area that I have here next to this electrical box, and you might see some sweet potatoes growing on the ground and some of the St. Augustine grass that I'm actually cutting and planting here as well. And then if you look over here, this is next to my elephant ears and my donkey ear over there. I have my succulents here that I have in pots. I have my donkey ear plants here if you want to check out that video. But then you see here is where I have some of my aloe vera in the pots here. You see how big it's getting, how pretty it is. Now this here, now aloe vera being grown mostly in the shade where the other one is now full sun. I do talk about that in the video and explain that it's a lot more difficult to grow in full sun unless you slowly get the plant used to it. But here these are growing in shade and they're very happy. Again, I got more of my donkey ears here growing, and actually a jade plant as well, and the bears keeping them safe. Okay, now let's roll to the footage. So today we are going to be talking about the aloe vera plant. You can find aloe vera drinks a lot now, but it also has different properties people use for burns and for medicines for different like rosacea and skin issues that people use it to just cut it and use the salve on their burns or on their skin or anything like that. So it's being used more and more, so I wanted to show you mine and then talk about it a little bit. So this is my aloe vera plant. I've had it for I think a year now, I think. Started off pretty tiny. I've potted it twice. This one is always on my back patio. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. It gets quite hot. I've noticed that the aloe vera plant does not like direct sun, at least in San Antonio. Now it gets extremely hot here, over hundreds by a decent amount in the summer, and the sun is just so hot. So I know these do grow outside in direct sun in other areas, but it's always mindful to realize that every plant is different depending on where you live, and also if it's in a pot, it can't deal with the sun as much. So if you look right here, this is my backyard patio, and right here is where it's always sitting, right there. And so it gets morning sun that comes up over here, and then it is completely shaded by the hot afternoon sun over there. And that's what I noticed the best. My neighbor actually was trying to grow an aloe vera plant maybe a year or so ago, and he had 6 of them in this big pot, and they died. They were always in the sun though, and they kept on going brown. All the leaves and everything would just turn brown and they would die. He couldn't get them to live. He was constantly trying to figure out, was he watering it too much, not enough, was the soil wrong, what didn't it like? And what it ended up being was it was just too much sun. So another thing here is that just like my elephant ears, it will grow little pups. And so you see right here, this is the main plant. I had one plant here, and then from the bottom, from the roots, start popping up these new little pups here. Got one there, there's another one here, and you can see it's the main plant is getting so big that it's actually crowding these. And so what I'm going to be doing is taking these out and putting them in different pots. I'm actually going to give a few to my neighbor who lost his aloe vera plant. His son has eczema, and so he bought them so that they could use it for him to see if it helped his eczema. So you can see what I've done here. I had burnt myself, and there's a couple different ones, like here's a big one where you can just cut it off, and you can see it doesn't do any damage to the plant. You can actually just rip it off. It's actually very simple here. You can just take it just like that. See, it just snaps right off, and you have that goo inside right there, and it's very soft and slimy. See, just like that. And so you can put that on your cuts, your burns, or anything like that. It makes it feel better immediately. That's what a lot of those creams and stuff is, aloe vera gel inside of it. As far as the soil goes, I've seen honestly that it does not matter. This originally came because I think my mom-in-law bought it for me, and I think she had got it from the store when it was a pup, when it was just a baby, and it had the normal potting mix that you see for cactuses or for succulents in general. It's a different type of material, but I actually just put my main soil that I use for all my potted plants in here, which is just peat moss and compost from Home Depot. Is really all it is. And sometimes I have vermiculite I put in there, but that's all. And I honestly only water this thing every couple of weeks, if that, because when it rains it just all soaks up in here. All the peat moss just gets nice and wet, and so it holds moisture really well. And there's a water container on the bottom there, so it does drain pretty well. But I've had zero issues with it. The only thing that I found wrong with this is leaving it in direct sun, and you'll see all the little tips start turning brown and it starts to die back. But the funny thing is after it got bigger, I actually put it back in the sun to try to see, maybe 2 months ago, to see if it was still that case. And the whole thing, I was in the sun for 2 weeks, and the whole thing started turning brown all the way down. And then I took it back and I put it back in the shade spot over there, and within 2 weeks all those brown was magically green again, just perfect and happy. So just got to pay attention and listen to the plant. I know people worry about the soil and the watering and everything like that, but really the type of sun exposure can mean a lot sometimes. As far as fertilization, the same thing I fertilize. Anything that does not flower or bloom, I use seaweed extract. It's 16 by 16 by 16, water soluble pellets that I basically put in water and water it with, and that works really well. And that's it. I haven't noticed any pests ever mess with it at all. Really, these things are very hardy. I think they're probably pretty hard to kill. That's the only thing, the sun is the only thing I noticed with them. Everything else has been going very well. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much for watching till the end, and like always, please like, subscribe, and comment, and if you hit the little notification bell, then you'll be told when I put new videos out. Thank you again, and have a good day.